Academics and medical experts have criticised the South African government for dragging its feet in the Covid-19 vaccine rollout process. Many believe that the success of the vaccine rollout will be measured on government strategy in handling the pandemic and reducing the number of deaths. According to the Constitution, it's government's responsibility to protect all citizens during this process. Joining us now for more on this is attorney and partner at Adams and Adams, Jean-Paul Rudd. JP, thanks so much for speaking to us. JP, I suppose my first question is, what is the yardstick for a measure of responsiveness by our government?
Look, obviously we can't be compared to the first world countries of the UK and the US's of the world. But my concern is, there is a serious delay in the procurement of the vaccines. If you just turn to the continent and you look at places like Guinea and Turkey, who've already rolled out their vaccines, Morocco, who secured their vaccines long before we did, that's a serious concern because, we are the flagship country in the continent and we should have had it a long time before.
Well, let's talk about the Constitution and our rights as a nation. What are those and how are they impacted by this delay in accessing the vaccine?
Yeah, so the Constitution guarantees certain rights. There's a right to life, right to medical treatment, right to education, right to freedom of movement. Now, if you'll recall back in March last year, when the Disaster Management Act was promulgated, a number of these rights were restricted, and rightly so. So the lockdown was basically just a stopgap measure in order to buy us time to secure the vaccine. So certain rights can be restricted in terms of the Constitution. But my concern is, with a delay in the procurement and distribution of the vaccines, that these rights that are guaranteed in the Constitution will be restricted for longer than they should have been restricted. So the vaccine should have been, in my opinion, rolled out a lot earlier in order to be able to enable us to lift these measures restricting our rights.
So can we as citizens of the country do anything to urge government to be more proactive and work faster?
Well, I suspect there are going to be certain court challenges if the lockdown drags its feet. The economy is suffering, so we can't expect the lockdown to carry on indefinitely. So the rollout of the vaccine will have to be expedited, and we only hope that it's done properly and there's no sort of corruption involved in it that we saw with the PPE procurement earlier last year.
JP, another human right is the right to life and healthcare services. Now, we know that healthcare services have been inundated with anything corona-related seeming to take priority. And unfortunately, what it's done is it's put a lot of individuals who should have been treated either for chronic illnesses or operations on the back burner, so to speak. And you spoke just now about some legal challenges. Do we expect this to happen at all?
Yeah, it's a major concern because hospitals and doctors are putting off major surgeries, cancer treatment, transplants, you name it. And that can't go on indefinitely because these people are living in serious pain. Their conditions are deteriorating by the day. So if these people are forced to push out surgeries for indefinite period of time, you would expect to see court challenges regarding extended lockdowns.
Awesome, JP. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us. JP Rudd, an attorney, just giving us issues around what we can expect in terms of constitutional rights and the expectations for us as citizens of the country.